All right, let's go ahead and bring in Brett McMurphy, college football insider with the Action Network. Brett, we were just kind of having a conversation. I wonder your thoughts with this opt-outs becoming more and more of a thing in college football. What's your stance on players and bowl games and bonuses and just the current NIL structure?
Well, it's a mess, and they're all different. And, if it's not, it's like for the athletes that have contracts, it's either in the contract or not, what they're required to do. So I don't think you can just flat say they should play or they don't get paid or they, if they don't play, then they don't collect whatever. I mean, are they being paid up front? Are they being paid, like a regular Joe every 2 weeks, every month, whatever that is? I'm sure that's all laid out. So, yeah, it would make sense that if you're receiving NIL money, it should be for the completion of the season. But yeah, you bring up some good points. Coaches can get out, they leave, but they have a buyout. They obviously won't collect their bowl bonuses if they don't. Although I'm actually not sure on that. If a coach takes a team, gets a bowl bonus, and then actually doesn't coach in the bowl, I don't think that's necessarily addressed in these contracts. I don't think it's that specific. So you may have guys get bowl bonuses that actually don't coach in a bowl. But, yeah, I think it's all over the map. One quick thing, though. You mentioned I have Arkansas in the Texas Bowl. Hey, that was yesterday. I did new projections this morning.
Oh, wow.
I think you're getting bumped back to Birmingham. This is not 100. It's not 100%. Believe me, when I tweet this stuff out Saturday night, it'll be 95%. But right now, it's still kind of reading the tea leaves, talking to a lot of people. The biggest thing that will impact Arkansas is if Alabama gets into the college football playoff. I actually think they should. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know. But if Alabama does not get into the college football playoff, then, yeah, Arkansas will definitely not go to Texas because then that will shuffle everybody down one, and then Arkansas would be looking at Birmingham, Gasparilla, or even a non-SEC bowl possibly.
Interesting. Gasparilla is the Tampa game on the 20th. I think the Birmingham Bowl's the Friday night, December 27th.
Yeah, it is.
And then the Texas Bowl is on the 31st, New Year's Eve, which is, I think, a Tuesday. So that is the setup. Well, I love that you just updated.
Nothing says the holidays like Birmingham.
Yeah, Brett, I love how you just updated real time. And I looked at your projections yesterday. I didn't even know you had keep them. So make sure you're following Brett on Twitter at Brett_McMurphy for his bowl updates. Now, I think the story we kind of wanted to discuss, Brett, is you breaking the news that Sam Pittman, according to one of your sources, is going to return in 2025. I know there's probably a lot of context, and it's too long to get into on a short radio. But what is like the main the main stuff of why Arkansas is bringing Sam Pittman back for this upcoming season?
Well, I mean, you guys, I'm sure, have dissected this every which way, like a CSI unit. I mean, basically, I started out yesterday morning, and, obviously that Sam Pittman has been, a story all season, the unknown, uncertainty on returning for next year, dependent on is he successful or not. And then, the issues with his hip came up towards the end of the season. I know he addressed that, I believe, in a press conference a week or two ago, and then he's got the hip replacement surgery scheduled today. So I was, kind of always monitoring it. And then yesterday, I had some people reach out and say, "Hey, I hear Pittman's going to retire." And I said, "Okay, well, let me check that out." Now, let me preface that with the people that are telling me this are not people that I trust 100%. I joke that there's like 5 people that if they text me right now that the world is ending, I will tweet that immediately because that's how much I trust them. This was not one of those people, but it was enough to ask around, check around. And the more I asked around, and then I started talking to people that I trust, multiple people within the conference, within the school, other people that are close to Sam that are not at the school. I got the same message back every single time. He is returning in 2025. He is returning in 2025. He is returning in 2025. So at that point, because of all the other speculation and rumors that were out there that he was retiring, I'm sure you guys heard him or saw him or, dealt with him. I thought, well, it's a weird position to report I guess that's the state of college football now, where the AD has to come out and say a coach is returning, where in the old days you just said whether he's fired or not. But, nowadays you have to say if he's returning or not. So I had enough people that I trusted at that point that said he is back. And so, I reported that yesterday and closed my laptop because I didn't want it to incinerate from all the comments on Twitter, which, by the way, I'm not joking. I don't look at them. Like, I could write the sky is blue, and I would have 100 people say, hey, it's raining here, idiot. So you could offer me $1 million on Twitter. Unfortunately, I would never see it. But, yeah, so maybe more in-depth than you wanted or cared about. But, yeah, that was basically it. Now, the reasons why, I don't have all of those answers. I think it's probably a variety of things. The buyout is obviously an issue, stability in the program. The other thing is, with a lot of schools, and I'm not saying this is Arkansas, but a lot of schools, they're like, we need to get rid of, like, oh, my God. So I listen to Columbus, Ohio radio. I have a friend there, and he said, you got to find this radio station in Ohio. These were the hosts of the show in Columbus on Sunday. Chip Kelly was on the take. Ryan Day should be fired. He shouldn't even coach in the playoff game. I mean, that's what these guys are doing. So what I was getting at is, okay, if you want to get rid of Ryan Day, if you want to get rid of Sam Pittman, you want to get rid of Billy Napier, whoever it is, that's great. But you've got to have a plan on who you're going to get next. And it's not, the old line, paraphrasing, Nick Saban's not walking through that door. So I think a combination of all those things was why why Sam was brought back. I don't know if Hunter Yurachek, the AD there, has addressed it or will address it. I'm sure at some point for bowl prep that question will be asked. But that's kind of the different things that I was hearing around the Arkansas job.
Brett McMurphy is with us here on the Morning Rush. All right, let's test your depth here. Who's going to be the next coach at Charlotte? Coach of the 49ers? Because Bobby Petrino's name has floated around the job. Is he a legitimate candidate for that post?
Yeah, yes, he is. I think he's on a very short list. I think there's some MAC coaches that are on that list. I think you will know something in the next 48 hours, maybe earlier. I do not have any insight on who the leading candidate is, but certainly, he was. If you're going to list favorites for that job, he would be among the short list.
And where would Sam Pittman, if Bobby Petrino took that job, where might Sam Pittman go to fill that job as offensive coordinator?
I was hoping you guys would tell me. I mean, look, there's so many coordinator openings now. I mean, OU just filled theirs, obviously. Dana Holgerson got re-upped at Nebraska. That's a merry-go-round with the coordinators. So I don't think there's like an automatic, you go get this guy. Again, it's all dominoes. And I think there's still a few, we got to see what North does. We got to see what UCF could create openings that could impact, that will impact OC, or other schools are filling OCs or even head coaching positions. So it's really impossible to say this guy is definitely going to be the guy. Be person B.
Two names that come to mind are Dow Loggins and Barry Lunny Jr., but both are in better situations, or at least had better seasons where they were at South Carolina and Illinois. Both have connections not only to Sam, but obviously to the program as former players and former coaches. So those will be two names that will get bantied about, but I don't know if they're, Brett, really legitimate candidates, considering you'd say they're on higher ground now with the programs they're in that have been ranked, a better part of the year than not.
Well, yeah, no, you bring up, whether you meant to or not, you bring up an excellent point. And again, I don't mean this to be negative towards Arkansas or towards Sam. In fact, Sam's one of my favorite coaches. Absolutely love him. I'm still waiting to get invited to one of his Kentucky Derby parties. But my point is, if you're a coordinator, and I'll just the two specific schools you named, South Carolina and Illinois, if you're going to make the move, you also have to consider the stability of the head coach. And if there's a question in your mind, I'm not saying there should be, but if there's a question in your mind that, I'm not sure how long Sam Pittman's going to be at Arkansas, then do you leave a situation where Beamer's not going anywhere unless he upgrades somewhere, and Bielema is not going anywhere unless he upgrades anywhere. And it's look, I'll throw my own team under the bus. I'm an Oklahoma State grad. I would assume at some point Oklahoma State will make some moves on the staff. So if you're if you're a coach and you're considering Oklahoma State, obviously, I'm not saying Gundy's out the door next year, 2 years, or 20 years from now. Nobody knows. But you have to look at how long you think the head coach is going to be there. And also you got to look at the AD situation. Is your coach working for a new AD? Obviously at Arkansas, that's not the case. But at other schools, you don't want to go to a place that has a new AD, because then the AD wants their new head coach, and then you're out the door and you just signed a deal as an assistant. So you kind of, brought that up a little bit, but I think a lot of that plays into, thinking of why these guys make a move. That's why Gus Malzahn went to Florida State. He was at the back end of his tenure at UCF, and, he wanted to get out while he could, and he goes to work for a friend of his, Mike Norvell. And despite what Florida State fans hope or want, his future's there fine unless he rolls out, obviously, another 2-10.
Brett, we'll leave it there. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, guys.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.